Great. Well, thank you very much. So now you have made your first presentation to a venture capitalist, and then the next obvious question to me, at least, is, well, when do I call back, or should I call back? I would like to pose this question to our panelists. Do you encourage people to call back? Do you encourage them not to call back? If you don't say anything, when do you anticipate a call back? Do you want to hear from them? Everyone knows that 98% of the presentations you see you don't follow up on. So what's the right procedure? Maybe John, we can start with you.
Yeah, I mean, our procedure, and I'm sure everybody has their own, but we'll review an executive summary, and that'll decide whether we see a presentation or not. If we see a presentation, it's our policy to get back within 10 days of the presentation, whether it's and the way we're set up is such that we have subcommittees that focus on different divisions. One's healthcare, one is technology, and one is industrial. So if that passes the subcommittee, then it gets to the full group of 25 Robinhood members, and it's usually, my guess is that within again a week of that second presentation, you'll have an up or down whether we're interested in going forward.
Two things. First of all, if we ask you for any follow-up information, which is common, it is important that you respond quickly and concisely and answer the actual information that was requested. And if for some reason you can't get it, perhaps it might have to do with what other patents are there in the field or something like that, and you need more time, then let us know that you need more time. But quick, prompt, efficient follow-up to any questions is critical. I think the other thing, and it comes back to the selling process, I think part of a good salesperson is you should ask, what is the next step, or when will you get back? And most of the times that happens. If not, it is our policy to generally let people know within 1 to 2 weeks whether we're interested and whether we want to proceed.
We have a fairly standardized procedure because we have many members, so we work on a monthly cycle. Our first step is a screening meeting. Well, actually, the first step is for people to apply online. And if you're invited to our screening meeting, we'll give you an answer within a couple of days whether you're going to go forward or not. If you go forward, we then have a meeting with the entire membership where you would get to make a presentation. And then from there, we schedule a follow-up meeting a week thereafter for the companies that have garnered interest at that large meeting. And then we go directly into due diligence. So ours is a little bit different, and it's fairly formalized, and we try to give feedback along the way, especially to the companies with which we meet.
We have 3 partners and 2 principals in New Spring Ventures who are all tasked with finding and sourcing new deals. So if you get invited in for a presentation, your business plan or opportunity caught the attention of one of the 5 of us. So that's sort of the first piece of good news. The question from that point forward, kind of like Bob said, is don't be shy, don't be afraid to ask the questions of us or anyone else you're meeting with as to what their process may be going forward. We meet every Monday as a partnership. I think 90% of venture capitalists meet every Monday. So that's sort of the exception of the case if you don't meet on Mondays. So if you happen to be in our office on a Tuesday for a presentation, the next time that as a partnership we're going to have to talk about your opportunity is the following Monday. And it may be that it's 2 meetings down the road before we get to it just because of the amount of deal flow that we may have. So it's fair to ask the question, understand exactly what their process is and where you sit in the timing of their consideration. I also agree with Bob that timely follow-up of any questions is important, and I think the best thing is to let us get back to you to figure out where we want to go with this. I think all of us feel some burden in letting you know where your plan sits, yes, no, or maybe, and we'll properly follow up with you.
Okay, you've come in, you've talked to one of us, and you're wondering about, how do I follow up? from my perspective, being on this side of the table, the most effective manner or strategy for follow-up by entrepreneurs has been some variation on the theme of harassment. And it ties in with what we're talking about before. You're going to make this happen. And it is inconsistent for you to sit there and to back off with asking the question. Am I, did I make the cut? Am we going forward? Did you like what you see? Do you want to learn more? And as pointed out, it's up to you to force the question, do it in an appropriate time, don't do it right away. You've heard that it takes us a couple of weeks for various processes to get through. And then there are 3 categories. It's basically, go forward, no, we're not interested, or tracking. You heard maybe. I mean, our variation on that is tracking, which involves, I'm not sure whether what you've told me is going to happen yet, and I want to see if you can start to make it happen.